Religion. In religion, the idea, the absolute, i.e. thought, is called God and takes the form of picture thinking, feeling, and faith, a form intermediate between sense, art, and thought, philosophy. Religion has three parts: religion as such, definite religion, and the absolute religion, Christianity. 1. Religion as such. Religion, or religare, in essence involves the overcoming of our separation or estrangement from God or the idea, and realizing our unity with God. Every religion has the three UPI moments of the concept: universality, i.e. God, the absolute, the universal mind; particularity, the separation of God and man, the universal and the particular mind; alienation, sin and unhappiness; and individuality, worship and the return of the particular into the universal, which is their unity, the unity and reconciliation of God and man. 2. Definite religion, which has two parts. 1. Religions of nature, which are three. A. Immediate religion or magic. We start with the immediate unity of universal and particular, hence with no distinction between God and man. Only the particular, this tree, this animal, exists, not yet the universal or God. Magic means that I, as a particular ego, have power over rocks and storms. They will obey my commands. Here there is no universal end or spiritual aspect, only my natural will, impulses, and passions rule. B. The religion of substance. Here we have a distinction between God and man, hence true religion, but God is conceived only as substance or an abstract universal, empty of all content and particularity. Myself, nature, and the finite world is swallowed up in this one substance. Examples are: 1. The Chinese religion. Here, the one substance and absolute power is heaven, or Tian, the sky, emptiness. It is the emperor who represents and is heaven, and religion involves obeying the edicts of the emperor. 2. Hinduism. It has a concept of substance more fully developed. God is now the formless one, Brahman, as an abstract unity. All other beings, worlds, men, gods, are unreal and exist outside the one substance. Since there is no connection between the one and the other lesser gods, Hinduism is both a pure monotheism and the wildest of polytheisms. Hinduism's Trimurti of the three gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, has often been taken for an anticipation of the Christian Trinity, but falsely so, because Shiva is not the concept's unity of Brahma and Vishnu, the universal and the particular, as it is with the Christian Trinity. The goal here is to become identical with God by becoming the very emptiness which God is, becoming will-less, deedless, and completely submerging one's consciousness. 3. Buddhism. Here, substance is recognized as what it is, emptiness and non-being. Hence, God is nothing or non-being. So being is now identical with nothing, as in Hegel's logic. Hence, nirvana, the goal of worship, is just the attainment of this nothingness and the annihilation of all desire and activity of life, which also puts an end to rebirth. In Buddhism, the one substance also becomes embodied in a particular consciousness. Buddha, or the Dalai Lama, who are accordingly worshipped. C. Religion in transition to the religion of spiritual individuality. 1. In Zoroastrianism, God is now determined as the good and called Ormazd, or light, who has an opposite, Ahriman, or darkness, the evil and other of Ormazd, both engaged in everlasting strife. 2. In the Syrian religion, we have an anticipation of the Christian doctrine of resurrection. First, in the phoenix, a bird which perishes in flames, but ever rises rejuvenated from its ashes. And second, in the god Adonis, who dies but rises again on the third day. Here, in the death of God, we have a Hegelian, quote, negation of negation. That is, death and the negation of death with a resurrection of the dead. 3. In the Egyptian religion, we also have a negation of negation in Osiris, their chief god, who has an evil opposite, Typhon, who slays Osiris, who then rises again to become both the Lord of the living and the dead. In the Egyptian religion, spirit is still entangled in nature. Hence, zoolatry and the worship of apes, monkeys, and cats is practiced, as well as worship of the symbolic Sphinx, half human and half animal. They also believed in the immortality of the soul. 2. The religion of spiritual individuality. Here, substance has become subject or spirit. We have reached a personal God. A. The Jewish religion, or the religion of sublimity. Here, God is one person, Jehovah, who alone has independent reality, and who, as spirit, has no sensuous shape and exists solely for thought. Thus, to represent God in natural images and idols is an abomination. Everything particular, including man, has no independent existence and is a nullity before God, who has created the world and all its particulars. Man is the bond-servant of the Lord and is not free. The people of God have been adopted by covenant and contract, and thus on condition of fear and service. Since there is only one end, God, worship simply involves recognizing the glory of God and one's own worthlessness and nothingness. The Pharisees believe in life after death, but the Sadducees do not. B. The Greek religion of beauty. For the Greeks, nature and the sensuous is not the opposite of God, godless or worthless, as in Judaism. Rather, it is in the sensuous that God manifests himself, e.g., in statues and works of beautiful art. Hence, the one God of the Hebrews splits into the many gods of the Greeks. And these gods are spiritual, real persons, not personifications of an abstract quality. Man also is an independent existence, self-determined and free. Since man is a spirit, and the gods too are spirits, man can rejoice and not fear. Worship now consists in games, festivals, songs, plays, and works of art. But there is one blind and irrational power which rules even over the gods and everything, namely fate, nemesis, or necessity. C. The Roman religion of utility. The Hebrew God had only one end, himself. But the Roman gods have a multitude of particular ends, related mainly to human ends, such as property, health, a happy marriage, and home. Hence, the Roman gods, unlike the Greek gods, are demoted to the rank of means. They are not beautiful, but only useful. As a religion of utility, all that is useful is revered as divine, such as the art of baking, of making chariots and temples, etc. But the Romans had one god above all the rest, Jupiter Capitolinus, whose end is the universal sovereignty and dominion of the Roman people.